What's up, everybody? It's another extra episode of Iron In News. We're gonna do an Iron In Reacts again. Um, so we've talked a little bit about like off screen the Restrict Act. I know me and Indy have covered it. Before we did a Jordan Schachtel piece on it. That people should go check out. From How Do We Miss That? But I found Joe Rogan talking about it. Collin, I know he's deemed what, super right wing now. Isn't that how it works?
Sure.
One of the what a horse pace peddler, that sort of thing. Isn't that what he's deemed? Even
Also,
though
sure.
possibly right, and they don't like that. Anyway, but yeah, I just thought we'd react to that. He had a bit about it on the show. So, you ready?
Ready.
Okay.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
That fucking TikTok ban. Like, what is this actual law?
Oh, that bill has nothing to do with TikTok, yeah.
Yeah, it has nothing to do
What
with
is it?
TikTok. It's all about
Restrict
having
access.
power to restrict access to, like,
What's the deal with
pull it
TikTok?
up.
When
Let's
did
figure out
TikTok
what it is.
become like a fucking evil?
Well, first of all, they nailed it. Adam Curry doesn't think they are. Adam Curry's perspective when I talked to him, and Adam Curry's brilliant.
Yeah.
He said he thinks that they're eating tech in America's lunch, and they're trying to block them out because it's a Chinese-owned company. And because they're saying that China's scooping up all the data, guess what?
We
He
could.
he goes, that's exactly what these other companies
But
are
I
doing.
think
Yeah.
They're all
Rogan is
scooping
fine.
up your data.
Yeah.
The idea that your
But-
data is going to China is a problem.
What does that
It's
mean?
just
It goes
because-
to China. Like,
it's because China represents competition, and they developed an app that's the most addictive app ever. That's
Sure.
his- that's just
But
Adam
they're also
Curry's
selling
Is
the
it Adam
information.
Curry, MTV original VJ?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
guy's
he's
the
like
shit.
a huge tech guy. Yeah,
Do you know
yeah.
he's the fucking original podcaster? He's
Really?
the pod father. He's number one.
It's why. Yeah, he's a couple things he was like ground level on.
Well, he's super like deep in on the internet, man. Like,
And so, yeah, it seems the same. Seems it's just an app that they're making money off ads.
But I will say, I've never seen before, because Christine, my girlfriend, is like,
She's on it nonstop.
and I really like. No, she stops herself now, but the fact that you're in a position where you have to stop yourself and like. She can't wait for me to go to the bathroom, or whatever, so she could just start seeing more of them. And I'm genuinely afraid to
Of getting
try,
lost in
but
it,
I
yeah.
almost like the same way I want to try crack once, like see what all the hubbub's about. I want to go on and be like, is it good? I'm not into watching bite-sized videos
You'll
over
get
and over. It's
into
not my
it.
but
thing.
the
You'll
thing
get
is,
into it.
it
Yeah.
what it does is it finds what you're into. And
Yeah.
one of the ways I know that is my 12-year-old and my 14-year-old have fucking completely different feeds.
Whoa.
They talk about it. Like my 12-year-old is into like weird facts and strange things. All kinds of stuff that the 14-year-old's not into. The 14-year-old's into like dress-up videos. It's like people are into different shit, and that's what it'll find your thing. It's like really good at that. But it's also like super invasive. But then the question is, how much do we know other than what we found out from Twitter? How much do we know about like what these other companies are doing? Like when you just sign up for someone's app, and then like how about when you're talking about something and then you see a Google ad
Yep.
for it? Like what happened there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the
we all
microphone.
know by now.
What the
Well,
fuck
you know
is
what's
going
funny?
on? But
You can turn that off. You can turn that. That's actually a function. If you go into like Facebook on your phone, you can all of them. You put turn microphone off. It's an option, so it doesn't do that. If you turn the microphone off, though, the app doesn't do almost anything.
It's just
my
annoying.
God.
It
It makes you
passing.
almost keep it on. That's
Right.
the only reason I have it on. But
it hobbles it.
yeah,
It hobbles
That's
it so
too
it can
far.
listen to you constantly.
That's too far. Following shopping habits or something, it's like maybe that's way too far.
But what about like an Alexa helps you solve a crime because it like was recording or something?
I hate
If
that.
we didn't know, if like this whole thing with Edward Snowden didn't come down, we would, and that was a long time ago. If you really stop and think about it, we would have no fucking idea that there was a government full-scale surveillance program that was on the American people, like on everybody.
Yeah.
Like they could spy on anybody. They don't have to have warrants anymore. They can do whatever they want. They can get all your emails, all your voicemails. Like that is wild shit. And we found out about it because a guy told everybody and then had to hide in Russia.
Damn, it's
Clear
crazy.
AI scrapped 30 billion images from Facebook and other social media sites and gave them to cops. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Puts
the
them into a
background stuff.
perpetual police lineup.
Oh, so no more
Did
of
you
that.
hear about that, Collin?
No, I didn't
The
actually.
Clearview AI scrapped 30 billion images from Facebook and other social media sites and gave them to cops. Put everyone into a perpetual police lineup. Essentially.
So
they're not in the
AI
system. They're not in the system.
Look at that. 30 billion images from Facebook and social media sites and gave them to police. So now they have your name and your face. So if you have a fake ID, if you get pulled over, they know exactly who you are. And they can run that through some fucking computer that has a database
Of
That's what I
everything.
mean. That was a
your
big thing
social
when-
media, everything you've ever
Wow.
done.
That's so much deeper than DNA evidence because they would say that if someone didn't have their DNA in like the siblings, you couldn't find something. It was their first time like crime, and they weren't. Now
You could be like, did you buy a shovel recently?
you're
Jamie,
in,
what is
you're in
the
the
law?
system if you have a phone.
Yeah.
What is this TikTok law? Because people are freaking out about it, and people are telling me that I have to look into it.
Confusion is calling it the TikTok law to begin with.
The Restrict Act
Yeah,
is what it's
TikTok is not listed in there at all.
Right, I'm
But
sorry,
what is-
but it's that's like the "Don't Say Gay" bill.
Sure.
Never really says "Don't Say Gay" in any of it.
Yeah, that was a misleading one.
Yeah, it's very misleading.
But that's also kind of how it's being sold to people as like, this is what's going to stop the bad TikTok stuff.
Right.
But it's like, hey, TikTok is not mentioned in here, so maybe
Right.
it won't do that at all.
So what does it say?
So this is what instead of like just going after TikTok, they're making this sweeping act. The Restrict Act is described as a systematic framework for addressing technology-based threats to the security and safety of Americans. That sounds ominous. It grants the Secretary of Commerce the authority to review transactions by certain foreign entities who offer information and communications technologies, products, and services in
So what is that? Did you hear that?
No, can you play that again?
Yeah, so the Restrict Act is described as a systematic framework for addressing technology-based threats to the security and safety of Americans. It grants the Secretary of Commerce the authority to review transactions by certain foreign entities who offer information and communication technologies, products, or services. Okay, so it essentially states that the Secretary of Commerce gets to decide who we're at digital warfare with.
Right.
Essentially. So
in order to identify, investigate, and mitigate undue and unacceptable risks to the national security of the United States or its citizens. This includes, but not limited to, impact the country's critical infrastructure and digital economy, sabotage or subversion of ICTS in the United States. Boy, that could be interpreted a lot
Any
of
which
ways.
way.
ICTS is that information technology services and crap.
Interference and manipulation of federal elections, which could mean you're just skeptical or you're gullible and you bought into some conspiracy theories and you're talking about them. And instead of just being able to just talk like a nonsense person, you get jacked.
So it's kind of like
Undermining
it's like subverting the press.
Undermining the democratic process to steer policy and regulatory decisions in favor of the strategic objectives of a foreign adversary to the
Right. So that's them claiming that like they'll get to dictate what isn't misinformation from another government body.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
detriment of the national security of the United States. Like, man, this is all so open to interpretation. Like, think of those things. Impact the country's critical infrastructure and digital economy. That's easy to do. You can impact it. What if you impacted it in a positive way? What are you saying? Impact it. The digital economy. Like, how do they? What have you done? Do you promote a certain coin and it blows up?
Yeah, but
then
if you
you
like,
just impacted.
What if you like
the
stop
digital
using
economy.
eBay?
Yeah, I mean, if someone like think about like these Bitcoin guys, like if Elon posts a Dogecoin image, immediately Dogecoin goes up, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't that impact the digital economy? So what does that mean?
Yeah,
I don't know.
So what if he says the crypto is bullshit because he believes it? Well, doesn't that impact the digital economy?
Yeah, they could arrest him.
And are they talking about the digital economy that exists now, or are they talking about a centralized digital currency, which is what China does?
Is that what they're saying?
They want to do.
Are they saying that Elon Musk will be illegal for him to
I don't know
to
what
pump
they're
Dogecoin?
saying. The problem is the way that's, I mean, obviously I'm not a lawyer, but the way that's written, scroll back down so I could read that. The way that's written,
Yeah.
impact
It's
to
vague.
the country's critical infrastructure and digital economy. And digital economy is included in there. Like, what does that mean?
I don't know. I've never made money digitally.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know.
But look at this. So this thing, information, communications, technologies, products, or services, right? So this is ICTS. Sabotage or subversion of ICTS in the United States.
What's ICTS again?
So it's information, communications, technologies, products, or services, all right?
Okay.
So in order to identify, investigate, and mitigate undue and unacceptable risk to the national security of the United States. So if you did something so subversion.
So they're saying-
So imagine if you
Yeah.
said, I think these people are full of shit, and I think, what they're trying to do is gain control of the United States,
Yeah.
and I think we should resist that. That would fall
And
into that.
and they're selling it as TikTok is doing this. TikTok is subverting our elections, or
They're not
TikTok
even
is subverting our
selling it that
economy.
way.
So
They're
we have
not
to be
even
careful of
selling
them.
it
No?
that way. They're
You
not
don't
even
have
selling it
TikTok
that way.
anywhere in it.
These countries are the foreign adversaries that may do bad stuff.
So they're like, it's a risk that they're going to do something bad with this.
Yeah, like they've listed using a VPN as a way to subvert that, which would be
What?
illegal, and you get a
Dude, what-
gigantic fine, and maybe 20 years in prison.
What
To
they-
use a VPN here? Oh, how do you steal?
20 fine and 20 years in prison for using a VPN.
Imagine.
How do you steal?
They're
Parks
going
and
to
Rec
criminalize
back?
that?
Imagine
That's
they're
what
going to
everybody says to get
criminalize
that.
VPNs.
I'm always told to get a
Imagine
VPN.
Yeah,
that.
you should get a VPN.
Potentially criminalizing the use of a VPN service or sideloading to access services blocked from doing business in the United States under the Act, due to the text stating that no person may cause or aid, abet, counsel, command, induce, procure, permit, or approve of the doing of any act that violates the orders issued under the Act. What?
Oh, it's so confusing.
Bro, they're trying to gain more power. This is creepy. This
It's
is
also-
not good, and I just gotta hope that people wise up and don't pass this. Does it seem like this is something they're passing?
I don't know that it's
Bipartisan
gotten
support.
that far. I know it's been proposed.
You think there's an order to it where it's like, first we bill China as going after Hong Kong and Taiwan. Now we see them as the enemy. Now a business associated with them, we can get rid of that now.
Yeah, I don't.
Have we not been saying this for like months now?
Yeah. Yeah, we have.
Like for months now, we've been saying this, as well as what's happening in Ukraine. Like,
I don't know, man.
But I mean, the problem is like TikTok zombifies people. So like, if you take it away, they're going to revolt.
Yeah, they want
I
it.
don't think you have to
I
take it
hope.
away. But I think that act has nothing to do with TikTok. If people have like legitimate concerns that people are abusing and overusing TikTok, that's a
Yeah.
conversation people should have.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
if this is not that,
It's not because of that.
This
It's not
is
because everyone's
something-
using it too
This
much.
is about what they're
What they're
getting
doing
when you
with
use it.
Yeah.
all that stuff seems very vague to me. Obviously, I'm an idiot, but all that stuff seems very vague when they're reading out like what they can get you for.
Yeah.
And that last thing about acts that are listed as impermissible under the act or whatever the fuck the wording was, like what the fuck is
Yeah.
like you're covering all the bases. It seems like it's so open to interpretation. Now imagine if something like that existed during the pandemic.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the pandemic where people go, I don't know if these fucking masks work. You would immediately get
That's against the public health.
that's against that.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
You'd be in
exactly what
legal
that thing.
trouble, they're saying.
Now
Yeah.
we know they don't work. So then it was, we think that you can still get sick even if you get vaccinated. That immediately you would get banned from things.
well, what do you think?
Well, this is bad.
I mean,
I can't say anything more besides I can, but like I think the basic basis of this is bad.
yeah.
This is bad. This is like this goes very much against what this country stands for.
Well, and Ari Shafir hits the nail on the head. Do you think there's an order to it? Do you think we make enemies with Taiwan and Hong Kong for China, and then we come in? Like, yes, Ari. Yeah, same thing in every other war. Like, yes.
But it's funny because this is what the U.S. claims that other countries do.
Right.
Same point like Russia,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't.
It's like North Korea stuff.
Right. Like any enemy that we have globally, it's like, oh, they do this shit. And when the reality is more or less a gaslight for us doing it.
Right.
So this is pure projection on our government's part. But
well, and this is Patriot Act 2.0 and then some. This is press freedom gone.
I would argue worse than that.
Right. This is
well, you said it then some, yeah, but
net
yeah,
neutrality it destroyed. Like, I mean, they could have just like, I mean, it's like they could have gotten any whistleblower for anything with this.
Mm-hmm.
Locked them up forever.
Right. And not even that, but it's just like independent media, how that we would be affected by this.
Yeah.
So you know, it's just a way of policing
and
propagandizing, you know, what we see and what we don't see. And yeah, it's just very strange. You know, I just kind of go back to like George Floyd. Again, I mentioned this on stream before, but the first people who contacted me regarding that what happened were I call my family in Uganda.
Mm-hmm.
They were the first who called me, and I asked them because internet is not that great over there, but they were like, "Oh, we saw it online." So you can imagine if like they want to, and they already do it in terms of, you know, certain stories that mainstream media will not report on.
Yeah.
You know, but something like that, they can just the government can just easily just restrict it to the point where nobody sees it.
Yeah.
And then, so, yeah, it's just a very bad thing all around. And I think honestly, this is why Joe Rogan is the #1 podcast in the country.
Well, it's
because he actually
3 fairly normal guys. Like, it's a pretty good barometer for where a lot of the country is.
Right. I mean, like Joe Rogan is not a politician, but I think he talks about. I mean, we're not either, but we kind of talk about this stuff in a way. Like as I said, I don't consider myself like an analyst, a political analyst at all. As I said, I'm just a regular guy who just kind of has the understanding of how politics affects, you know, my life and the people around me, and just having a voice to be able to.
It seems like they were asking the right questions for sure. So
yeah,
which is why they come after that guy all the time, because they do that. You know,
and it's not to say like Joe Rogan is correct 100%
all the time. No, yeah, he himself in this video said he's an idiot. I'm an idiot.
Right.
So, like, yeah, I mean, plenty of idiots out here. Like, they, you know. But anyway, but yeah, I thought that was important to bring. So, anything else to add? Not really.
It's surprising that more people are not necessarily talking about this.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, but
so check out our deep dive on How Do We Miss That. We cover the Jordan Schachtel part of this. So yeah, but anyway, I think that's it. Sunday, on How Do We Miss That, we're gonna have Kit Cabello on. So people should check that out. Anything else? I think that's it.
That's it. Just like, share, subscribe.
Yeah,
and and look on our Twitters for more info and upcoming clips from our show and then other shows on the network.
Yep. Follow all the stuff, indienews.network right under there. But as always, kids, labels are bad. Stay independent. Good night, fam.